Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? How you feeling? It's your boy Cass. I want to come and speak on the Notorious movie, and this I'm gonna title this video "Notorious Review." For the record, that's why I'm gonna title the video. The reason is because I have been watching a lot of videos on YouTube with people who were in the movie, people who were played in the movie, giving interviews, as well as regular YouTubers giving their reviews and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of interviews, a lot of behind the scenes commentary on the movie and stuff like that, specifically about Pac and Lil' Kim's portrayal in the movie. Let me say this. Now, I've never wanted to apologize for anything I said. I've never unless I really truly messed up, I've never want to take back shit I said. I stand by my opinions 100%. But I have to say that in my last review, my first review for the Notorious movie, I said some things about Pac that I shouldn't have said, and only because of the fact that he is dead. I'm not even going to say I shouldn't have said them. I should have rephrased it, because honestly, that is my opinion. How I feel about Tupac and how I feel about the things that he did that possibly, could have been avoided and maybe would have resulted differently, and maybe if he hadn't done and said the things that he said back then, that him and Biggie wouldn't have been dead or be dead now. I stand by that. I stand by that 100% because I honestly feel that way. But I feel like I should have been more respectful of the fact that he is now gone. And, regardless of how I feel about him, maybe because I'm a New Yorker, so I feel a certain way about Biggie and I feel a certain way about Pac. But at the same time, I have to be very respectful of the fact that, or mindful of the fact that he is no longer here. And I have to be respectful of that. Because he was a human being, and maybe what we saw behind the cameras, or on the TVs or whatever, we read about in the magazines back then, wasn't how he truly was. Because understand, people, that this man had a mother, and he had family members who loved him, and to this day still love him dearly and miss him. So, I'm sure there was, more Tupac than what we saw. You know what I'm saying? In the videos, heard from his mouth on the CDs and read about in the magazines and tabloids. There's always more to a person than what is, put out there in the public. I'm quite sure there was a good person inside Tupac, but he, being the fact that he had that thug mentality, he didn't allow that vulnerable human side of him to really be shown. You know what I'm saying? He had friends and family and loved ones who loved him for the person that he was truly, and maybe not for what we saw. I honestly do believe that if Pac would have did things differently back then him and Biggie would not be there today. And that's my word, because in my opinion, I don't feel, even before watching the movie, I never felt as though Biggie played a huge part in the whole beat. Okay, I really did not feel like Biggie was the cause of everything getting blown out of proportion. Okay, y'all saw the movie, y'all saw the videos back then when the shit happened. Y'all read the stories and the commentary and the things that were going on as they were going on. The shit was televised. When the last time you heard about something in the hip hop industry being televised on the news? When unless someone was getting shot up. You know what I'm saying? The news was following this shit from day one, because it was just that big. So it's kind of like people should have saw this coming, but they didn't, because they were being naive and niggerish. I do not take it back, but I would like to, rephrase that, and I would have rephrased it then. Anyway, next subject, Biggie. Don't get it twisted. Even though I'm a 100% Biggie fan, I love me some Biggie. You can't tell me shit about Biggie Smalls. The fact still remains that Biggie was a player, and I will leave a link to a video of the interview of Wallace, which is his mother, also giving her opinion, because even after she saw the movie, she saw things about her son that she never knew were true. Okay, she knew her son within the home, but outside the home, he was a different man. Not so much as I think Tupac was or whatever, because yeah, he was a thug, but I don't think Biggie was a thug. I think Biggie was a hustler, and he did what he had to do to provide. He didn't do that shit because he loved the streets. The streets was all he knew. and his mother tried to bring him up differently. But when it came down to him having to, pay some bills and get his money and take care of his children, that's what he had to do. And he hustled all the way to the top because that's what he had to do. And he even gave the streets up in order to recreate his image for the sake of not only himself and his family, but for the sake of his career. He changed himself, did a total 360 because of that. And that's something that Tupac never did. He died with that thug image. He died by the bullet, just like he lived by the bullet. So it's like you can't really compare the two. You can't really say that Biggie was such a negative person, but at the same time, Biggie was a player. Okay, on the side of him being a hustler, he was a player. Now, Ms. Loretta Wallace did say that she felt bad for Kim because she knew Kim way before things had went down the way they did. She said it was years before the movie aired that since she's seen Kim, and she would like to talk to her and ask her face to face, did my son really treat you this way? Did he talk to you this way? Did you allow him to talk to you this way? Why? You know what I'm saying? Because she was hurt to see the mean person that her son could be. She raised him up to be better than that, but the streets took a hold of him and kind of made him this evil-spirited person at times. Not saying that he wasn't a good person, but he wasn't all good. He wasn't a saint at all. He did his dirt, as I also said in the first review. It just so happens, and another thing, I love me some Lil' Kim. I've always loved Lil' Kim. Again, just like Biggie, I followed Lil' Kim since day one. As I started listening to hip hop, Lil' Kim was immediately one of my favorites. And despite what she's gone through in the past few years, Lil' Kim is still on my list as one of my favorite female rappers. So, but at the end of the day, Lil' Kim to me wanted to be more than what Big saw her as. She wanted to be wifey material, but Big didn't see her that way. She loved him more than he loved her. Okay? And even though he made Faith, which I thought was kind of questionable as far as his love for her as well, because you will get married in 2 weeks, it just doesn't go down. But at the same time, he shared a child with her. He would have shared a child with Kim, but I believe she either aborted or had a miscarriage. But Kim was riding with Big way before the record deal, way before the whole Faith situation. What happened was Big had more love for Faith than what he did for Kim, and that's why he married her. That's why he felt like she was wifey material, and he brought her along and left Kim in the background. And the fact that she tolerated it made her dumb, but it does not make her at fault. I don't feel like it was I don't even feel like it was Faith's fault. It was Big's fault. Big knew what he had with Kim and knew how Kim felt for him, and knew that it would be tension between her and Faith because she felt like she was there first, so therefore she should have rights to Big. And it was like this constant battle between them because Faith came in doing nothing wrong. She didn't want shit to do with Big from jump, but then she grew to fall in love with him, and then boom boom cat, things happen. But at the end of the day, understand that, Kim still claimed Big. You know what I'm saying? And if it wasn't for him doing what he did to her and treating them like shit and cheating on both of them, things would have worked out differently. I really honestly believe that things would have worked out differently. You know what I'm saying? But it just so happened that Faith caught his eye. So it left Kim high and dry. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. But I felt like they had this special bonding relationship either way because of the fact that he made her into the artist that she is today. If it wasn't for him recreating her image, she would never be Lil' Kim like what we see today. And the fact that she still has a love and respect for him despite what happened between them back in the days, and she reps him to the fullest in anything that she does, is big of her, and I give mad kudos and mad respect to Lil' Kim for that, because that shows that she is still a strong black woman despite her image. And I'm going to leave the link to the interview with Ms. Loretta Wallace. I'm also going to leave a link to a video about some new up-and-coming events. One in particular, the new Aaliyah movie. Yes, Aaliyah Houghton, the R&B singer that died in the plane crash. Wow. To this day, when I think about it, it brings tears to my eyes because I love me some Aaliyah. I felt like if she was still alive today, she would be one of the greats. She would be on that Beyonce status. You know what I'm saying? She would be on that level of stardom, doing great things and contributing to the industry and really bringing forth that light to the industry even more so. Her time here was so short-lived, and I feel like if she was still alive today, again, she would be doing some great things. And it was unfortunate what happened. And they're going to make a biographical movie based on her life. And Missy Elliott, Genuine, and Timbaland is going to be featured in the movie, I guess, playing themselves. It's not certain whether or not the R. Kelly relationship with her is going to be featured. I think that it should be featured. Despite what happened, she was a minor and he was an adult. I'm happy to see that her memory is lived on and that they're going to tell the true story that a lot of people really don't know about Aaliyah, about the beautiful person she was. And the person who's playing her is absolutely gorgeous. She is a beautiful young lady. And it's funny because she looks just like her. She's a spitting image of her, and it's almost scary how much she really looks like Aaliyah. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Y'all be blessed and take care.